Funding is provided by a grant from New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District with a local office in Olean. Funding is provided by a grant from Absolute Care of Westfield, committed to returning the favor to those who spent a lifetime caring for others. Absolute Care is located at 26 Cass Street in Westfield. Dave Cass and Rick Newell provide funding on behalf of the Lakeview Hotel and Restaurant at the docks, located on Water Street near the lake in Mayville. From the Access Channel 5 television studio in Mayville, it's Senior Report with Reed Powers. Join us live Saturday mornings between 9 and 10 a.m. in Fredonia, Mayville, and Silver Creek. Call in and share a thought or wish someone a happy birthday with Chautauqua County's only live on-air senior program. Reed continues in his 15th year with interesting guests expressing their viewpoints and informing the community on a variety of subjects. Here's the host of the show, Reed Powers.
And what a beautiful day here in Chautauqua County. The sun is beaming down, the birds are chirping, and the flowers are ablaze with color. And we had a little spring shower a few minutes ago, which was just enough to water and nourish all our crops, the grapes, the corn, everything we got going here. What a place to live. Do not tell the people down in New York City about Chautauqua County, although the French did. When they came through here, it's widely reported in the anthologies and their diaries and so forth that they considered this, when they came here, they actually stated this is a Garden of Eden. And a lot of the French did settle here. You still have a few French rattling around, especially down in Jamestown, mixed in with the Swedes, right? We have a great guest today. We have a past legislator in Chautauqua County and a very active person who is now running for the New York State Assembly for my cousin's seat. As you know, my cousin Bill Parliament has decided it's time to spend a little time with the grandchildren and the children and just relax, and the puppy dog and the cat. Well, he put in over 2 decades down there, and it's getting to be a madhouse. So I can't imagine why anybody would want to run for the assembly unless they got a screw loose. But I know we have 2 people. We've got Nancy Bargar and Andy Goodell. I don't know, is there a third party candidate out there? Okay, well, only 2 people. And we will have Andy on at some other time, and we are very fortunate to get Nancy Bargar at this time. Now, I wanted to talk about what's on TV. As you know, it's craziness. I can't watch TV without screaming at it, and my poor wife keeps telling me, stop yelling at the TV. They don't hear you. They don't pay any attention to you. But, you know, what's going on in... First of all, our health care hoax, that we had a promise of health care reform. We're the only country in the world that pays insurance companies almost 1/3 of all our health care costs for their profits and for their huge salaries and bloated expenses and their contingency funds, which they use to buy other companies. They're the most powerful entity in the United States today, which is why they control Congress. They give them $100 million a year at least, and billions are spent for other things. For ads, whenever something's coming up they don't like, they just run a bunch of TV ads back to back all day long for about a month or 2, and that basically brainwashes the public. So we have not got real health care reform. We're still the only country in the world that doesn't have a national health care program. And we're still giving it all, we're paying these insurance companies 1/3 of our costs to dole out health care. And you get some little girl who's about 18 out of high school, and she'll say, well, we can't do a transplant for you because you're too old. or you've got leprosy, or whatever her excuse may be. It's getting crazy. And of course, he was going to take us out of the wars in the Mideast. He doubled them. We're getting shot apart, blown up, the bodies coming home in caskets right and left, people missing limbs and there's parts of their brain and all kinds of things. costing us $1 trillion. $1 trillion a year, money we don't even have. They just got those printing presses rolling away down there in Washington, D.C., and that will create inflation, much as they're telling us, oh, there's no inflation, seniors. You don't need a COLA for the next 2 years. We were always promised a COLA, cost of living, you know. Since 2002, the COLA, of course, has dropped 50% because they've been giving minimal and unreasonable. They have these phony federal figures where they have the core inflation. They say, oh, we're going to take out cars and take out housing. Oh, we're going to move housing back in because now it's dropped. And seniors can buy houses cheap now, like they're in the process of buying houses. So in the meantime, no COLA. Have you noticed that all the boxes down at Walmart are getting smaller? The quart is now 30 ounces. The pound is only 14 ounces. The half pound is 7 ounces, 6 ounces. And you know, the pound of potato chips is now 12 ounces. Same price, of course. No inflation, Mr. Powers. Seniors don't need a COLA. Taxes going up like crazy, even on the county level. Local levels, sometimes as much as 50% in Chautauqua County, depending on the school district. It's madness. Seniors are going to be living in their children's basement eating this stuff. You know what this is? This is what they ate during the Great Depression. Cat food, if they're lucky. Fie on Congress. Every time, every day I get a new email saying we should throw everybody out. Let God sort them out. Put all new people in and warn them that the next time there's an election, they'll be out again if they continue to screw the seniors. Because the seniors, you see an 85-year-old man going down and finding a job and stacking shelves at Walmart? Give me a break. And their only hope is their Social Security, many of them. And, incidentally, their pensions. You say, well, you got your pensions. Well, friends, pensions often and usually and frequently and as a rule determine their COLA, if you get one, by the federal figures, which are phony federal figures. We're dead. Get your kids ready to put a cot downstairs for you. All right, enough said. I'm ranting and raving here. The rest of the stuff on TV is just utter nonsense. We finally got some sort of a state budget. Nobody knows exactly what it is and what the little glitches in it, but I can guarantee you one thing: more taxes, guaranteed. We were the highest tax state in the United States 2 years ago, and since then they have raised our taxes 20% more. That's their answer. Instead of cutting, 20% more taxes. People are literally hiking up their skirts and pants and running anywhere else but New York State. Population declining like crazy. More taxes for you and me because there are less people to pay the welfare or whatever the costs are. Can't believe what's going on. We're going to send somebody from Chautauqua County down there. Two, actually. You know, the New York area runs the government of New York State. Governor, the leader of the House, of the Assembly, the leader of the Senate. There are only 3 people that count anyway. And the Attorney General and this and that. They're all from downstate New York, and they control everything. They're going to raise our fuel costs up here. Yeah. Oh, it's madness. We got to send some people down there that have some sense. Well, maybe Andy Goodell or Nancy Bargar will go down there and cut a little. You know, poor Bill Palmer tried for years, and all he did is boo him. He used to stand up and say, "You're a bunch of frauds. This is fraudulent. Backdoor spending." Never got anywhere. Well, we also have another person going down. Greg is going down. And he has a good chance of being the next lieutenant governor because he's hooked up with somebody from down there, and they'll probably do pretty well. Lieutenant governor has absolutely no authority, incidentally. They can't find his office. Until Patterson became governor, no one knew where he was, and nobody ever heard of him. That's the whole game plan. If you're lieutenant governor of New York, you're supposed to keep quiet, keep out of sight, and do not make any waves, whatever you do. And if you're lucky, you might be governor if the other governor gets caught in a brothel. Enough said. Enough said. Let's have some good news. I got some senior report news here, all right? We have such great senior programs, such great senior groups and clubs in Chautauqua County. I just cannot tell you. If you do not belong to one, get out there and join it immediately. We have the United Senior Citizens, which is a sort of a cover-all group. It includes all the leaders around the county, and anybody can join it. I mean, you can be a leader or a non-leader. Everybody knows Charles St. George. He's been forever and ever directing senior groups here, and he's the president. And anytime you want to get interested, call Charles St. George over in the Dunkirk-Fredonia area. They had a wonderful indoor catered indoor picnic catered by the Beaver Tail Catering. They do the beaver tails, the beaver caters. They had a great dinner. I wanted to say happy birthday to Jenny Castellano and Joan Guzik and Leonard Schwager over there in that group. Linda Burton from the Foster Grandparents Program goes around. If you want to know about this, they need foster grandparents. These people just kind of mentor kids, especially kids who are having problems, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful program. Get involved if you have a moment. 1,000 points of light, right? You remember George Bush first. Okay, I wanted to mention that the Dunkirk Senior Center, which has a great, they were running all through the hallways in the old school there, and they have a racetrack inside. So in the winter you can jog. President over there, if you want to get involved with Dunkirk Federated, Loretta Hemming, and she does the job. Secretary over there is Wierzinski, it says. Doesn't tell her what your first name is. You know, oftentimes they don't know the first name. Okay, next meeting over there, Dunkirk, August 24th. You'll meet Irene Christopher. Everybody knows who she is. Boy, she's been so involved. She's involved with breast cancer, too, promoting, helping, research, counseling. She's terrific. If you want to get involved, call Irene Christopher. It says that Helen Barone was absent, incidentally, at the last Federated meeting. All right, so Lakeshore Seniors, that's a crowd up here in Fredonia, and they meet at the Dunkirk Senior Center because it's so beautiful and spacious. Got room for everything there. Dorothy Cooper is the secretary over there, and president is Charlene Hallmark. I wanted to mention that they are quite involved on the Share and Care Seniors Board. It's a great bunch of people. All right, now I have Betty Clausen, who gave a report on the recent theater bus trip. Now these bus trips they're doing there in the senior centers are wonderful. They're cheap, they're good people, they're simple, the buses are air-conditioned, giant, comfortable bathrooms, clean, and they're wonderful and they just take off as a bunch. You know, some of them can go as far as California. I got one here listed for California. I want to meet the Share and Tear crowd. They went to Chicago Speakeasy. That's in the Erie, Pennsylvania, Erie, PA, you know, the station restaurant and the theater over there. It's a wonderful place. Everybody goes there. Next Share and Care meeting is September 7th at 9:30 at the 32 Moore Avenue location, and drop around if you want to get involved. No, enough of that. Sheridan Happy Seniors have a Happy Senior song, and I'm going to have them over here to sing it one of these days. They meet at the John Bosco Hall with a lot of people. Milton Grisham gave the evening opening prayer, which they always do in most senior groups, all senior groups do, and then they do the Pledge of Allegiance, and then they sing God Bless America, usually. Chinese auction coming up in October for the crowd over there at Sheridan. Happy Seniors, and the next meeting is August 20th. Drop around, say hello. Happy birthday again to Ed Passerb and Teresa Warner, married 55 years for their anniversary. 55 years of marriage, unheard of in this day and age. Not 55 days, years. Well, I got 48 in on mine. I'm working my 49th year. Can't beat that. You just need a wonderful person. My wife is the most wonderful person, if you know Jane Powers. Okay, Silver Creek crowd has a Route 5, Route 20 connect. Where they meet, they have a wonderful clubhouse there. They just painted it. What a job they did. They had a big yard sale to help set up the painting and finish up, putting in some stonework. It's going to be beautiful. Joan Krestick told some jokes. All right, Mary Smith called bingo. And of course, every senior group finishes up with bingo. Okay, now let's see. The August 18th meeting, they're going to have an annual sausage roast. So don't miss that. Call Marie. Tony Sack announced a trip to Seneca, Allegheny. You know where they're going. It doesn't say, but